Welcome back. It's Wax World, episode 4. I know that because I just did the banner today, and I remember counting to 4 on the banners that I've done. What's up, Jacob? You were traveling again this weekend, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, so I was just telling Tom right before we got on that summer is ending for me. So that's really good because I've been like way out of all the NFT streets, not just Wax, Ethereum, all of it, just because the summer's been so crazy. So we've got a few friends that every year we go away to Branson, Missouri. It's in the Ozarks. If you're familiar with the show, the Ozarks, it's a nice little area. It's about 3.5 hours away, and it's a great vacation spot. We rent a house by the lake. There's a pool. So basically, all our kids, let's see, there's 3 families, a total of 9 kids, because we all have 3 kids, all between the ages of less than a year and 8. So it's just a lot of craziness. Yeah. So we're busy the whole time, but it's also chill. It's like the kids, They all just run around and have fun, and parents switch off watching the, actual babies who need to be watched. And one of my friends and I, we're just drinking beer the whole time. So I've been really out of this. And then it's also the fact that it's a long drive and I'm doing the drive all by myself. So, 4 hours there, 4 hours back, including stops and everything. Today we stopped off. My daughter was just screeching. I don't know what happened, but something triggered her and she was screeching for 25 minutes straight. And I was like, all right, we're finding a random lake here. We're going to pull over. We're just going to reset. And we walked down, kids had a blast. We were 45 minutes. We found dead fish carcasses and seagull feathers. So it was really cool because, how often do you see the leftovers of seagull meat?
Yeah, right.
And then we got back in the car and we head back. And so I got back just a few hours ago. So I was telling Tom that I'm just now getting back into the swing of things because now the kids are going back to school. Summer's over, traveling's over. I can focus again on what's actually going on, which apparently, good segue, as I was telling you, apparently I had some sales happen. We talked a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even last week, about how you need to commit to a project or just get out. So with Green Rabbit, things were fluctuating a little bit, and I finally just said, all right, I'm out. I have what I have. We ripped that pack, and let's see. So on the 13th, 2:30 a.m., I had it listed for $1,099, and then I lowered it at 825 wax. I sold my starter pack. Apparently, I sold a Tennessee tight end number 2 for 5 wax. That happened 7 a.m. on the 13th. What was that? Friday? That would have been Friday, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So that was Friday. Oh, and also because I was telling Tom that part of the preface to this was the fact that I spent all my wax, literally all my liquid wax, in the recent NFT draft drop. So I was like, all right, I need to replenish here. I'm all in basically on NFT draft. Hoping to make some money from that when the football hits because I'll be doing DFS anyway. So it's just a great overlap. I wanted to see if a card would sell. So that's why I sold this Tennessee tight end number 2 for 5 wax. I don't really think that's going to be anyone important, at least for my lineups. But apparently someone wanted it for 5 wax. So there we go. And then the big sale that I just noticed, which happened at 7 p.m. on Friday, which shows you how long it's been since I've actually checked this. I guess maybe because I think it was up there for a couple of days and I kept lowering it. So maybe things started to pump again and I missed the top and mistimed it. But for 4,500 wax, I finally sold my 3D character crate. But I bought that thing whenever it came out for 1,900 wax. So bought it for 1,900, sold it for 4,500. You can do the math. I think it ended up okay.
I like that. I would do that. I like that. Let's go back briefly to dad, Jacob. That's a great dad move that I would never do. That's a good move. Just reset, de-escalate. My move is to escalate. So that's good.
Actually, so I was saying to my wife a couple of times throughout the trip, I was like, maybe we should just break this up a little bit, rather than 3.5 hours straight. But the 2 older ones, they're sitting with their iPads watching TV and they're just happy to sit. She's like, no, let's power through. And then she was like, you know what? You make the call. And I'm always nervous when she says you make the call. It's if it goes wrong, it's all on me.
You got to make the right call.
I kind of want to power through, but you make the call. If you want to just stop, you've been right before. So, that's a win, right? The wife says you've been right. She's like, you've been right before. So you make that call. And I was too nervous to do it until she was screaming for 20 minutes straight. I was like, at this point, what do I have to lose? we're an hour 15 from home versus the 2+ hours we've already done. So like we can either do screaming for an hour 15 minutes, we can reset, hope it works, which it did, because then she was quiet and happy and then slept for a little bit, and then we only woke up screaming with 10 minutes to go rather than an hour and 10 minutes to go. And then the other alternative, the worst case scenario, was we stop, we have a good time, we get back in the car, and it's right back to screaming for an hour and 15 minutes. So it's a low risk, high reward because it worked.
Take the shot for sure. So Jeff in the chat is singing your praises further, saying that you made gains in wax and gains in other currencies. I chose USD for this example because the banner was already there. The banner was, I forget when it was in place, but it was 0.138. Now we're up to 0.19, where I remember the days of like 25-cent wax. That was pretty awesome. So maybe we're on the way up. We'll see as crypto is going up in general. I don't know about wax versus ETH. I want to look at that because I'm waiting on a sale over there. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening on that side of things.
I have to admit, I was on the wrong tab, and I was like, I didn't realize that anyone was commenting because I was on the private chat tab and not the public comments tab. And Tom and I have not interacted by chatting, so I was like, oh, there's nobody here. There's no comments, but there are. That's just my bad. All right, so
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, turn the tables to you. So tell us what's new with you, Tom.
Not much in Wax World. It's more like Wayne World, if you will. Wax and Wayne.
It's been waning.
Joke.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get into that a little bit when we talk Zombie Coin, of my personal opinions on Zombie Coin, because I did do some research and Jacob put out a poll of what do we want to talk about, and Zombie Coin was a runaway winner. And I guess we can get right into that. Let me go ahead and share my screen a little bit. I'm not going to read the white paper, if you will. I did read most of it already before coming on the stream, but it all looks fairly similar. I'm here on the roadmap because we're in the infancy of the pre-alpha phase. Now I work in software, but it's a small software company. We don't really deal in like alpha, beta stuff. That's how small we are. What's a pre-alpha? Like, what is before? That should be like closed, like it's internal only. But here's what it means in crypto world. It means I want your money right now, really, which is fine. That's not a negative necessarily. A lot of projects do that, as far as we're going to give you a teaser of what it's gonna be, and we need to fund the road that we're laying down as we're driving, which is fine. I don't really have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just to comment on that. I think that's actually a win-win, right? I mean, they're basically saying we need money to develop this, so like we're pre-alpha. It's like we've done anything except for we need money, so let's give something that you can give us money. But it's a win-win because there's so many people out there who are like, I want to be on the absolute ground floor. Like they saw the people who cashed out at Top Shot in January and February through the huge pump because they were like, well, we've been in this for almost a year and we're making all our money now. And they're like, well, I want that experience. So they're willing to just take a shot and throw money at this on the off chance that when it gets to, I mean, with Top Shot, it was still in beta, right? Like it was public beta. So from pre-alpha to public beta, that's what they want to see. That's so they're happy to throw their money away. I'm not saying that this is throwing their money away, but like they're happy to throw it at 20 different projects on the hopes that one will be one like rPlanet that they can then sell out. That if we were in rPlanet pre-alpha rather than at the start where we were, which was still pretty early, that they can do it. So it's a win-win. But keep going. Yeah,
no, that's a good perspective because I'm a little negative Nancy right now. So that's good to have like, hey, whoa, like maybe this is going to be okay as far as the process goes. Josh does have a great point. We are still in Top Shot beta. Top Shot might still make it. I think it will stay around. There's enough money to be in there to support it quickly on Top Shot. If they're still in beta at tip off next year, then we're in a little bit of trouble, I think, in Top Shot world. That'd be a problem.
Well, I think their goal was probably to make this whole season be beta. Yeah. And then they got thrown, the Bales article, as we always come back to, just blew it up and they had to adjust on the fly and they're still adjusting. So even if they do end up in beta by the start of the season, which I don't think they will, I think they'll be ready to go. I think that a lot of what's been going on is them just like having to catch up and adjust to all that crazy growth and everything that comes with it, the positive and the negative.
Yeah. So here's where we are on the zombie coin roadmap. We have some villagers. Great. I have some villagers. I don't think I sold them. I think I still have villagers. Then you can exchange your wood, which you could get for 0.25 wax or 0.75 wax. I think it was. And then you could exchange it for ZBC, which is the in-game currency, which I hope you're sensing a theme. This is how these games go right now. And I'm curious about this, which is August 20th, which is coming up pretty soon. It's in 5 days.
Yeah.
The role selector card drop. I don't know how they're going to drop these. I don't know if it's just going to be packs or whatever, but I think these are going to be in fairly high demand because what you do in the game is you become a villager and then you choose a side. You're a zombie or you're an explorer. And from my reading, they're basically the same, but zombies are the only people that can go into zombie caves. And then zombies can also go into explorer caves, I believe. That there's a difference there. But I'm a little fuzzy on that. And I also want to know, like, the whole gist is you go into a cave and then you mine for a while and then up to mine and then you get ZBC, which is zombie coin. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. But like, I'm more interested in like the mechanics of how do I actually find these caves? Am I just walking around? Is it like top down? Like Zelda style? Like what are we looking at UI wise? Because I think we mentioned it before. We're idiots. I don't really care about the structure or as much about the tokenomics as if I'm going to actually play the game. I care about the UX and the UI. What are the shiny colors going to look like? So do you have any insight in how the role selector drop is going to happen?
Not how the role selector drop is going to happen, but I do have some insights because they did DM me, and I'm looking at it right now, and I can read it off. So here's what they said, right? Villagers chop wood, and we can dissect this as we go. I think this would be good.
Sure.
Villagers chop wood using chopping tickets, right? So we knew that. We had to have the villagers in order to be able to pay them the 0.75 wax for the wood, the chopping wood tickets, right? That's how we chop wood. And that gives us, all the items that we've talked about. But explorers search Zombieland for mines and other items. They use shovels and exploring tickets to explore, right? So the explorer's job is to explore. So how do we find the mines? That's the explorer's job. But then zombie miners are the only characters that can enter the toxic environment of the mines. They use pickaxes and mining tickets to mine. So it seems it's all based around these tickets. You're probably going to have to continue to pay tickets and, basically hope for hitting the lottery. I think that what their idea is that people love to rip packs, which we talked about. And it's 0.75 wax, and whatever you get could be worth nothing, or it could be worth 75 wax or 1,000 wax or whatever it is. Like, I don't know
what that's fun.
Waxes are worth, but yeah, I mean, that's like playing the lottery for super cheap in the context of the game. It's a game that's all about playing the lottery. I don't see, I mean, like, it could be good, it could not, but like I see why people would like that. But so let's dissect that a little bit. So the explorers are looking for the mines, and then maybe they get into it, but basically you have to have the explorer if you get the explorer role. So basically the role selector card drop, you're going to get cards, and then it's going to tell you, are you an explorer or are you a zombie miner? And if you're a zombie miner, presumably you have to pay the explorer something. The explorer gets something out of you using their mines that they find. And versus the explorers that they go around and they just try and find mines. And when they find mines, that's where the value comes in. So they have to get shovels. And we've talked about with chopping wood. So the wood is how you get the shovels versus the pickaxes. So I think that's where this all comes into interchangeability, right? And how you make the money. So first you have to have the villagers. And if you have the villagers, you can get the tickets and hope to get your own shovels or pickaxe. But if not, then whichever role you have to like pay to get the pickaxe NFT or the shovel NFT. And then once you have the explorer and the shovel, or the zombie miner and the pickaxe, that's when you can actually go and get either for the explorers the exploring tickets, or for the miners the mining tickets. And then that's how you get whatever it is that we're looking for, which is ultimately ZBC, which is their currency. All right, so let's keep going. Explorers and zombie miners are their own NFTs. We got that. So, okay, so you need to blend a villager NFT and a role selector card, and you'll get either a 30% chance of being an explorer or a 70% chance of being a miner. So the role selector card is going to be like the villager, where you don't actually get anything with it. It's just the card itself, and you have to blend it with the villager. So you need both, and then you're going to lose your villager, but you're going to get another role, which means that you can no longer, unless you have multiple villagers, you can no longer buy the chopping tickets. Okay, so the goal of the game for now, which means there's going to be more development, will probably be to get one of each character, villager, explorer, zombie miner, one of each tool, pickaxe, and shovel, and then you'll be good to go getting your chopping, exploring, and mining tickets. All right, so yeah, and then basically you're using that to get your total asset value, and there's going to be a leaderboard, and which is about total asset value. Holding ZBC and having a high total asset value unlocks perks, rewards, and special features. So more to come. We don't know everything that's going on. In some ways, it sounds like the Wax version of the NFT projects, where it's like once we get 100% of sold out, there's going to be tons of things that happen, these perks, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of figuring out as we go, but in theory, it seems kind of cool, like a little bit different from what we've seen so far. It's just a matter of, is this going to be a big time and money drain, or is it really going to be worth something? Like Mintopoly, I was out after the first one, because I was just like, in order to compete, you've got to be way too active.
Yeah, Jeff.
Doing that all the time. Right. Jeff is a grinder. That's what he does, is he apes in. And you also, didn't you win something recently in Mintopoly?
No, I was close. I think I was third this last round, but this round, it just got away from me.
Like you miss a second and you're done. So
yeah.
I don't want this to be like that, where like I can't just like stop and start, which I'm hoping that the fact that you can, sell ZBC, like maybe I can't get to the top of the leaderboard, but if there are guys who are really trying to, there are guys who are really trying to win that leaderboard, maybe they say, you know what, it depends on what the perks are, right? If the perks and special features are valuable enough that you want to be on the top of the leaderboard, that'll trickle down to where ZBC will be valuable. There'll be, Alcor will make it very valuable. People want to swap in Wax for ZBC. You'll be able to buy, tickets and all these other things to try and get the villagers. And I think right now, even the villagers are going for like 200 Wax or something like that. So there's already people who are interested. And then the miners and the explorers, like all these are NFTs that could be valuable. But I think that's going to be the key is two pieces. Number one, what do you get for being on the top of the leaderboard? It's got to be valuable enough so that people want to pay for things, so that the NFTs are valuable, so that those who can't actually compete for the leaderboard still want to play and invest, so they can then, flip it around and be rent seekers, because everyone needs rent seekers. And number two is we need to know, where does this game actually go? Because with rPlanet, as we've seen, is eventually when things get stale and you've got too many people, it gets overloaded and everything is dropped out when it comes to rPlanet. And so I don't want to see this end up the same way. I want to see where this game turns into. Similar how we expect the robots to one day come and make it a good game, but we don't know yet. I want to see this zombie coin turn into a real good, fun game.
Let's take a brief diversion down memory lane. You mentioned rPlanet, and you don't want it to turn into rPlanet. I was looking for something on. I wanted to see the Aether Wax price, and so I found this blog from somewhere. It doesn't even matter where, but it's all about the URL is down spiral. Will the price of Aether rise again? Which I'm like, oh, this guy's speaking to me. Oh, this was published 5 months ago. Which is very funny because, and I'll pull up the right screen, but I want to show you actually what the chart looks like, and we'll do. I was gonna for a little bit. I was gonna do some analysis, some charting, some TA, if you will, on the Aether wax. So this was back in March was when this was. Oh, you can't see it. Here we go. There we go. So back here, it was about 0.008. He was complaining about like, oh, we want to get back up to 0.008, which would be, here, let's do. I haven't done this in a while because I don't really trade crap coins anymore.
You mean like fake coins?
Yeah, right. But now we're stuck down here. So I wonder what the fibs say. We are at some good support-ish, but it's been pull up another horizontal ray. I know this is riveting. That's kind of the point, is that all this stuff is silly. So if we look over here, this candle really tried. It tried to hold this support, but it just took a dump afterwards too. So as far as price action is concerned, we already knew this.
Are we at the lowest point ever of Aether?
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Wow. Yeah.
Which is crazy because it seems like there's more and more people still interested, right? Like every time something gets invented, hops today was invented, and I looked at it for like half a minute, and I was like, well, whatever. I'm not going to bother because I'm just not going to get it because I missed out on like so many others, and I don't say that in a in a bitter way, just in a practical, like it's just not worth my time to try, especially when I can just collect Aether and just hope that it booms again and then just sell it and make a ton of money if we get back to where we were up there. And I've got the land that I'm still holding.
Yeah, I think it's the right move. I just got sick and tired of it, so I dumped stuff. I just dumped a lot of it. I didn't need the money. I don't need it for anything. I just was kind of tired of rPlanet. So I think that's the right way to go. Covering the latest rPlanet news, aluminum was invented and hops were invented. And we already have a beer hint, which is kind of interesting that they threw a hint out there right after hops was invented. And I wanted to pull up that chart, and I could pull it up again, but we already know the answer, to see if there was any sort of spike after these inventions. And there was not a spike.
So my 228 million Aether. All right, let's do the math here. How much USD was that worth at the time?
Are you rich, Jeff? I don't think you are. What's very funny is in talking to Jeff separately, he's like, "Oh, I need to be careful, kind of with all this Aether. I don't want to dump the market. I don't want to ruin it. It's too late, Jeff."
That's about $1,000 though. I mean, at 19 cents for wax, so that 228 million Aether at a lot of zeros and a 2.5 at the end is I mean that's still like 5,000 or so wax, and at 19 cents for wax USD, it's close to $1,100. I would take that. I mean,
that's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
For sure. So that's rPlanet. Wake me up when there's robots fighting.
That's how I feel.
Once the upgrade of the lands just didn't do anything, then I kind of lost all hope. So back to Zombie Coin. And this is another tie to rPlanet. I read about the cave openings and how there's going to be like alerts for when the cave opens, because there could be oh my God, Jeff, there could be.
He's got another couple $1,000 just sitting in Aether, pretty much.
That's right. Don't scroll up and find those screenshots of how much money you were making an hour back in April, Jeff. Don't do that. So when the cave opens up, there's only 100 people that I think can be allowed in the cave, and you can find 400 ZBC, or there's some figures like that where there's a limited number of people. So it's going to be similar to rPlanet inventions, in my view. It's going to be a race to get into that cave and start mining, which I don't know. I haven't played Axie. Maybe all these games are grindy and that's just how it goes. I don't know. But this is another one that feels just really grindy to me. And also like sleep is minus EV and all that kind of stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what gives me a little bit of hope is that, they are trying to, like, they're receptive, right? I mean, think about Top Shot and how when they came out and basically they kind of said like, we know what we're doing and we know better, but like behind closed doors, they clearly were paying attention to what people were saying, because slowly but surely they started to roll out everything that people have suggested that would make things better. So, it seems like, and I like that from a development team, that like, you don't need to announce everything. You don't need to pander to the crowd, but, develop it on your own time. Like on Club Top Shot, where they've talked about, for anyone who watches Club Top Shot, they've seen this. They know that they talked about all the things they could do by bringing people to the suites, having a Top Shot suite and bringing people to NBA games. And they didn't announce anything until they were ready, but they clearly listened. They figured it out behind closed doors. There was no public reaction of, oh yeah, that's a great idea, we're going to do it. No, they just quietly did it, and then they announced it. Hey, look, we've got a suite, and here are the people who are lucky enough to go. And obviously people, reacted positively and negatively, because that's what happens with everything. So you still have to have thick skin, but that gives me excitement that the Zombie Coin developers clearly care what people are saying, and they're trying to develop a good game that people will like. So, hopefully they listen to the positives that we talk about and the negatives as well. And that gives me hope that they can, turn it into something that people really enjoy and really have value.
Yeah. I wanted to zoom out a little bit, and I went trolling the Atomic Hub website, and I went looking for like, okay, are there other Wax projects that I'm interested in? And so I'm looking now at this Ultra Comics, the Beasts and Butchers. Have you heard anything about them at all?
Ultra
Probably
Comics?
not.
No.
Yeah, that's a no.
I'm just looking at my inventory and seeing random spinny things that I don't know where they came from.
Congratulations.
Yoshi drops. Always fun to get those Yoshi drops that I'm not sure if they really have value. Yeah, lowest market listing, 2 wax and 2 wax. Awesome.
Well, if you really want to grind stuff, these have a beast pack called E1. The latest sale is about 2 hours ago for $22 USD, and the packs are currently available for sale for $20 USD. So you could grind.
What is it?
If you want $2. Yeah, don't actually do this. I was saying this is a joke, because I don't think they're very liquid. Because if they're still sitting there, yeah, I'm scared for these guys. Like Funko was a good thing. I think that's where Wax needs to go, is in more of those high profile collaborations, because I think the system works pretty well for those kinds of things. But I'm tired of it. That would tell me that some other people at least are tired of it, of the regular buy a pack, rip a pack, burn things, blend them, then you get this ultimate thing, and then what else do you do? That's the whole thing that's been missing, is there's not really a next step. So we're all waiting for Alien Worlds to take that next step, which I don't think they have. And same thing with rPlanet.
So, I mean, that is the question. Here's the positives about Wax. Like, Wax gets a bad rap, and I'm not even really sure why, because there's no such thing as a gas war in Wax. I showed Tom this article. I don't know if anyone's seen it. If you want, Tom, maybe put it.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Put it in the notes too, or in the comments. That Wax just went to their 2.0. We all know that Wax does not have any gas. You do not ever have to pay a transaction fee to trade or just for doing a transaction, right? Yeah. I mean, there's Atomic Hub fees, there's the normal royalties, things like that. But Wax itself does not have any gas, or it's proof of, what is it? Proof of work, not proof of stake.
This is proof of stake, not proof of work.
Yeah. Okay. People who know blockchain stuff, this whole weekend was, I made one joke about a block. I was like, oh yeah, we just got to wait for the next block. And that went over everyone's heads. And that was the closest I got to talking about NFTs or anything, just because, these people are real world friends. They don't understand the NFT world, which is fine. Yeah. We all know how it goes. But yeah, so proof. So there's right there. There's no gas fees, never a single gas fee. But what is, you need to stake. You need to stake for CPU. You need to buy RAM, which is way cheaper than paying for gas ever. And you have to buy net. But they just changed it to where Wax is actually going to provide a basic level of CPU. So for brand new users who sign up, you don't ever have to worry right away about, well, how do I get CPU? How do I get net? You can do basically up to 10 transactions a day with Wax essentially staking that for you. It's not paying for it, right? I mean, this would never work with Ethereum because Ethereum's not just going to pay for our gas fees, but it doesn't cost Wax anything to say we control the Wax. We can take this and stake enough for everyone. And it doesn't cost us anything because we can always take it back at some point. And the same, so too, which I think is why a lot of projects will jump into this, is that projects, they can stake for their project so that anyone using their project has the CPU and net. So it's not like they stake for themselves and you have to stake for yourself. So we may still have to stake, and there's always the benefit of staking in order to, gain, because you do get a tiny little bit of interest ROI on that staked stuff, which I always forget to claim, but I don't think it really matters. There's a lot of things I forget to claim, but they just sit there. But yeah, so this is actually really huge for new users, and hopefully for even old users, that the big projects that are making a lot of money will have a lot of Wax to stake for their users, so we don't have to have that issue. I mean, this is huge news. Basically, Wax has already been better than the other blockchains because of no gas fees, and it just got made even better.
And this article helped me explain or understand exactly what RAM was used for, net was used for, and CPU. So
I didn't make that
nice.
point in the article. So can you explain that?
Oh boy. Yes. So RAM is basically that's how they store things on the blockchain. So literally, it's like your USB drive or your hard drive on your computer. That's how they store who has what. That's all that is, and that's why you need some RAM is to store, and you can get out of RAM because you are storing too many things on the blockchain.
So if I think sell all my stuff, then I can also take RAM back, and I won't need more.
Yes. So you having my understanding is you having something for sale is taking space in the blockchain because somebody can go get that transaction basically, right, or close that transaction, if you will. Bandwidth and log storage. So that's with the net. This is the one that I was fuzziest on before this, but basically it's just how much information you've used over the past 3 days. That's why there's a little bit of lag time with that. So if you are doing a bunch of quick mining in Alien Worlds, where you can mine every like 2 minutes or whatever, if you're doing that, it would take up a lot of net, and then it lags a little bit. So that's where that comes from. And last but not least, we have CPU. So it's bandwidth in microseconds. Okay, I lied. I don't understand the difference because bandwidth is measured as average consumption in bytes over the last 3 days. CPU bandwidth is measured as average consumption in microseconds over the last 3 days. So it's bytes versus time. So CPU is the time you spent on the blockchain, I guess, for your transactions. So those are two different things. Whatever. The bottom line is here's the beauty of
okay, yeah. CPU is time, and net is actual bytes that you're using. That kind of makes sense to me. And that also, and then it says right there, tokens held in a 3-day staking contract. That's exactly why it takes 3 days to get any Wax back that you've staked.
And also why it's a 3-day lag time. Right. Because that's how they estimate it. So yeah, that all checks out as far as logic. But the beauty of this mostly will be, in my view, is a lot of people who transact don't have to worry about it. So if you go buy your Funko Pops and then you come onto our chain, you can sell 10 of them for free, basically. And then you get that angry, hey, you need to stake some CPU kind of thing. So that's good. I think that's a good thing for Wax overall.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they keep doing these. I mean, the most popular ones have been the credit card to Wax, right? Street Fighter, now Funko, Tops. Those have all been the gateway drugs. Weezer for a second and a half. I mean, we've seen that a lot of people, that either it's their gateway into Wax or it's their first experience and they're like, I don't know what's going on and I don't like this. So that to me is, this probably helps them. They're not going to get stuck at, okay, I bought this on credit card. I don't have any Wax, but I've set up a Wax wallet, and now I need to do I don't know what in order to now sell what I just bought but want to sell. And so I paid on credit card. I don't have a single Wax. What do I do? This helps them to be able to really get started, 10 transactions without having to do anything. So you buy 10 packs, you can sell all 10 packs. You can rip 5 of them and then sell, whatever it is. There's a lot that you can do before you get any issues. The only next thing is then they need to make it clearer so that like maybe like like if you get to that 10th transaction on the 11th one, instead of it just being like, oops, sorry, you're out, it could be like, here, you either just either it can like basically it can tell you here's what you need to do step by step, or even just link to that article and be like, sorry, you've done your 10 transactions, here's what that means, click the article and then find out. Just make it a little bit easier rather than, because otherwise someone can be doing less than 10 transactions for a few months and think that everything's fine and they've got wax but nothing is staked, and then all of a sudden day 55 of being in Wax World and they do their 11th transaction and all of a sudden they're like, what the hell is this? I've never had to do this before. So that would be the next thing where you want to make it easier for people to understand how wax works.
Yeah. So we've covered that the easiest way to get onto wax is with these credit card drops. I'm wondering what legality is there as far as getting their money out of wax, because I know we normally go the KuCoin or the Bittrex route to go into Ethereum over to a centralized exchange over to our bank accounts. That's the typical way to go. Getting out is a problem too. So do you see that coming, or do you know any legal issues around that? I'm honestly not sure.
I really have no idea. I do know that it's one of those things where we do this as a workaround. I have to assume that there's something that they're doing it legally, but it is weird that like you cannot get wax on any platform in the U.S. Just like you can't get what's the dapper one, Flow, right? Yeah. Flow, like that took all of the U.S. out of a lot of the dark country stuff because it was only on Flow, and we're like, we'd love to be in on this. If it's wax, if it's credit card, I don't care, but like I can't do Flow, and now I'm at a severe disadvantage, and that killed dark country for the vast majority. And even when they said, oh, it's going to come to wax later, it killed it. But the fact that major companies like Topps and Funko are doing this, and they're doing it on the wax platform, says to me that they've determined that it is okay and it is legal. It's just weird that we have this thing, we own this crypto that for some reason is illegal in the US, or not illegal, but just not accessible, which presumably is some legal purpose. So I wonder, I don't know anything about it, but I wonder when that's going to change, because it has to. Again, if you want wax to take off, if your gateway are these American brands that you're trying to get Americans in using their American credit cards, and now they've got wax and they're in Wax World, that's great. But they also want to be able to get it back out. And that's part of the hesitation and the bad experience for a lot of people, is that they get in, they get confused, they can't get back out, they don't know what they're doing, it's confusing. So for us who are degens in wax, we know what we're doing and we know how to KuCoin the whole thing. And it sounds crazy and it's like a 5-step process, but for us it's like, okay, it works. But
yeah,
it is a problem, and I think that that's part of what's holding them back as well. To Johnny Brady's comment, I guess it means you can unstake your CPU. That's what I took away from it for myself, but I'm just not going to do it. Again, it's up to 10 transactions, and then I don't know how you would know if a project, unless they come out and announce it, or you just test it and it works or it doesn't work. I don't know how you're going to know which projects are staking enough that you don't need to have any staked yourself versus not. So it's always prudent to at least have a little bit. I would say that if you've got like crazy amounts staked, you can unstake most of it, but definitely keep some staked. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I totally agree. Or if you know there's no big drops coming, I'm desperately trying to find drops that are coming this week, and I can't. NFT Insider has their this week of drops, and it ends today. Zombie Coin on the 20th. That's the biggest one, but it's also the only one. So I guess you're winning because you're the first and the last right now is Zombie Coin in my brain. Pick a day where you don't have one that you care about, unstake stuff, and I know it'll take 3 days to get back into your account, and then try some transactions, and then if you have some on the side, put it back in if you need to for CPU usage. I know that was a slight edge when we were crafting for rPlanet to have a bunch of CPU there. There was a hypothesis out there that staking more net or CPU would speed up your transactions, similar to gas and Ethereum. I don't know if that was true. I believe Jeff would be able to speak to that if
I think
anybody.
it was.
It felt that it was, because at least I wouldn't hit that CPU. You wouldn't hit that CPU error. I would on occasion when I was trying to craft. And now
Well,
I
I
know
think
why, but it
because
sucks.
well, if you go back to the definition right there, it's talking about how many transactions in a microsecond, right? So if you've got all these transactions because everyone's trying to do something at once, the CPU is overloaded. The only way to fix that is to have more CPU, right? Because you need to. I mean, I'm you know a lot more about software and all this stuff, coding, but logically it makes sense to me that you would need the CPU based upon how CPU works. The fact that if there are more transactions overall, you're going to need more ability to do a transaction in those microseconds. So I mean, just logically to me that makes sense, but I don't really know. Hopefully this does help with that though.
Yeah, it's about prioritization. Like the Ethereum side, it's because miners want
Right.
money, so you pay them more money. Wax, it doesn't really work that way because it's gasless. So I don't know how they prioritize. It's just time in that case, I would assume.
Yeah, it's like if you want to get into the club first, and there's a bouncer, if you slip them an extra $2,100 as opposed to just the $5 cover charge, they're going to let you in first, and everyone else is going to wait outside. And if you get there, great. If you don't, you don't. I mean, that's the gas fee on Ethereum.
Yeah, the club. The
Yeah.
thing I know a lot about. Yeah.
No,
That's
there are no
right.
clubs. We don't do clubs.
I actually don't. I'm not even talking about the club NGM. I'm talking about like clubs.
This?
Like I'm like
I
this
bought
is
some packs. I don't even know what it was for. I don't remember, but I bought some packs last week. I don't remember. I don't know if they're worth anything. I don't even remember what I paid for them.
What a DJ. Amazing. You're just like, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. This is a drop coming on what is the date? I believe it's the 19th. Is that right?
This looks like the WDNY.io. That's the wax to, or that's the credit card to wax site.
Yeah, it seems like there's a decent pipeline. So similar story: Cosmic, Blue Star, Infinity, White Star, 1.46%. Great. So, okay.
Oh yes, I did see that, and yeah, then that price tag said, okay, I'm out.
Yeah, like what are we doing? This is you can stress test.
Yeah, that's on the 18th. I need to remember that.
This is incredible. That's a lot of money for just packs. Like normally I think give us 3 levels of packs. Give us different rarities.
One thing. So yeah, I'm out on it. But if you scroll back down, there was one thing where for the right crowd it would make sense. Keep going. There. Yeah. Right. So it retails. So if you get the ultra rare White Star card, you get something that retails for $1,000 for $250. But like, how many are you buying? And it's so ultra rare. I mean, you're literally playing the lottery there, and your chances, right? So you're spending $250 at a 1.5% chance of getting something.
How many cards do you get in a pack?
I think just one. That's also crazy.
That would suck. There's no way. I hope you're wrong.
One pack, yeah. There's only one pack available for purchase containing one NFT.
Oh, wait.
Guaranteed to reward you the physical collectible if redeemed. Okay.
So you can get a physical for each and every single one.
Right. So each one, you're basically paying $250 for an NFT, but it has to be redeemed, so you have to burn it.
Yeah. But so you're paying for this thing.
Okay, so let's look these up now. Let's see. What are they called?
Outer Spaceman.
Right. You can also just directly buy the action. Like, skip the guessing, but like, who would do that?
I don't know.
It's like, why would I pay $350 when I can just pay $250 and get the $350 value? What was that? They're called
Outer Waxman, Outer Spaceman, men. So this is a question for Jeff, who I don't know if he's still around, but I don't know the collectibles market at all. He would, because
Yeah, you
that's
would.
literally his job. So I want, like, is that how these figurines go? Is that a normal price for these things? I have no clue.
Well, let's take a look. I found it, theouterspaceman.com. Okay, so we got NFTs on here. There's no prices listed, so I don't
I mean,
know. I'm confused.
Frankly, I couldn't be more out on these. They're made out of Sofubi, which I'm just looking at, which is soft vinyl, and
well, I found something that a vinyl figure that goes for $500 retail on their site. I don't know if they actually really sell for that or who's buying these. Not to talk down anyone who is, I just don't know anything about it. Okay, so all right, so I found it. So you've got, I think, if this is right. So they range from $150 to $500, and apparently the ultra rare is going to go for $1,000. But basically, a lot of these figures, so that's the lottery, right? So you can pay $350 and get that one automatically, which I guess retails for $350 or more. But the main ones that you're paying the $250 for, you're taking the risk that you're a minimum getting something worth $150 or a maximum it's worth $1,000. So that's kind of how packs should be. They shouldn't all be profitable, but they should be positive EV. So I'm sure if Jeff took out his spreadsheets and did the math, it would work out that they're not all profitable because, 250 minus 150 is not profitable, or 150 minus 250. So they're not all profitable, but with the rare one that's worth $1,000 and the other ones that are worth a little bit more, I'm sure that it's plus EV. And Jeff has no idea what these are. Excellent.
Hold on. I dug a little deeper. I dug a little deeper. So this is a new initiative that Wax is doing, and they're called Viral, VIRL NFTs.
Well,
which stands for
right?
virtual in real life.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like to make grand pronouncements too often. I will never buy a virtual in real life NFT just because they're named that. I this past weekend, I know this is F World, so I'll keep it short. I bought a T-shirt from Dream Loops because I bought a Dream Loops thing, and I wanted a T-shirt because screw it, I wanted the T-shirt, thought it was cool, and to commemorate this weird summer we're in. So that kind of stuff, I didn't have to burn the NFT or anything, but that's fine. I bought it with my own dirty fiat. Funko has Viral within their drop. That's fine. I just hate the name so much. You wanted to find
viral. I mean, you were doing Funko. You just didn't get one.
I would have bought Funko. That's true. I didn't know their name sucked. So
well, we also knew that there was something about redeemable for real world. Like I think that's Tom's point, is that he's not actually out on it. He's out on the name, right?
That's right.
I mean, virtual in real life, viral. It sounds weird. It's kind of an oxymoron. Like we understand redeemable for physicals, which is kind of cool, but it's got to have the value in both. And this, I'm not sure if there's any value in the NFT except to redeem in real life. Funko, seemingly, people love the idea of it, and these were exclusive. And maybe I'm wrong in these outer spacemen. Maybe this is also like that. But with Funko, the real life ones were you had to like collect a certain number. I don't even know if you necessarily had to burn them, but also they were what's what I'm looking for? They were like valuable. Like people wanted the NFTs for the NFTs themselves. It wasn't the only value of the NFT is to burn it and redeem it for something physical. I think that's the difference.
Yeah. I guess you could keep the NFT on a green blockchain and then nobody has to build the thing out of plastic. I don't know. And you're saving the earth. I have no clue. I have no idea.
Once they sell out 100%, no, it's 25%. They open the community wallet at 50%. They're gonna develop merch that's exclusive to holders. 75% will be monthly airdrops, and at 100% they throw a physical party in real life, right? That's how they
pizza
go.
Party.
Pizza party.
Okay. All right. I actually found here we go. Jeff is Jeff is correcting us as he normally does. Funko's airdropping some tokens on December 1st for those holding the viral NFTs. Then the token is burned for the physical, and then you can keep the original. So
That's cool.
you know who started that? The B people. The B people started that. They didn't know they were starting it, but they did because they had these NFTs, these nice B ones, and they said, "Hey, send that to us, and then we'll send you honey." And people were like, "No, I like this. I want to keep it." Well, actually, the problem was the inverse. They weren't doing a burn mechanic, so they were like, "Okay, you got this B thing, great, you get the honey." And then somebody bought the NFT, and then both people were like, "I would like honey, please." And they're like, "Wait a second,
but
I can't do that."
Here's the thing that I always come back to is you have to wonder. This is a very fine line, and I think that we're all so new to this that you're gonna have to figure it out. Like the bees, are they worth anything right now?
No.
Right.
No.
It's over. You got the honey, you got the wax, whatever it is, it's done. It's not worth anything. NFT draft, we've also talked about this, that like, are the cards for this year going to still be valuable next year when they release brand new cards, even though it's the same thing? So this viral one, so they're airdropping tokens on December 1st, so that's cool. You get to keep the NFT, you get the tokens. The tokens, you can either, I'm sure they'll be valuable, I'm sure they'll be on Alcor, you'll be able to sell them, or you can redeem just the tokens, which get burned for the physical, and you keep the NFT. But after that, what's the value in the NFT? Is it still valuable just because people like it and it's cool? It'll probably lose at least some value. So that's the question, is once that airdrop is done, is there a way to retain value on that NFT? And that's always the fine line, is once the use is, you need something that's going to always have use. Like it's on both sides, right? So on the side of the holder, you want an NFT that's going to be useful forever in one way or another. Even if it changes its use, you still want it to hold value. You don't want to own something that's just going to completely tank later. But on the company side, they don't want something where it's like, okay, we're going to do this, and then how do we continue to make money? Like, it's great to make a big amount of money at one point, but if there's no way to continue to bring in revenue, that is what leads to these rug pulls. Because like, okay, I made my money, I have no other way to make more money. That's incentivizing the company to just do a rug pull, say, why should I bother? Because there's nothing in it for me from now on, except for like a couple of % of secondary sales, but that's going to happen regardless of whether I do anything. So that's why it's so difficult to, divide that line.
All right, Jacob, I think we'll wind down on this. I have done some incredible sleuthing, and I found something that I'm actually kind of interested in on Wax. So it is art, actually, just on Wax.
What did you do? Did you just like start scoping the WDNY website?
Well, I kept Google. Well, I actually found Wax's Twitter account, and that was the place to go.
Did you do the Muhammad Ali one?
No, I skipped that one.
Drop? If someone in the comments, if someone watching did that or knows if it ended up being successful or not, I think I tried for the promo and I missed it. But if anything happened with that, I'd be curious to know if that was anywhere, because I haven't seen a thing about it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I remember the promo. I saw it, but I didn't do anything with it.
Okay, wait. So go to the WDNY homepage, because you'll see it there. I've just discovered there is stuff on the. There you go. You've got the Outer Spaceman. You've got your Crazy World one, Robotech, and Muhammad Ali.
There we go.
I can't see if it's sold out or not.
It's got to be sold out.
Yeah, I feel like everything sells out, right?
Yeah, it's gone. Good for them. Good for the Muhammad Ali estate.
I mean, great. What was his name? The first one, Leonard Nimoy. I mean, those sold out. That was a joke. I think I still hold that. It's probably worth nothing.
Those are such a grind. Like, ooh, I got pictures of Leonard Nimoy. How stupid is this? So this guy, his claim to fame is the Endless Summer poster that you've seen, I'm sure, on walls. The pretty colors like pink and orange kind of thing.
You mean like Dust Bowl Summer?
Kind of. So similar. That's actually a decent poster idea. I I like that. I like his art. I think it's cool, but it's the same deal as before. You craft them and then you can burn them up. I think blend them up into a higher rarity thing. Fine, yeah. Combine 5 of the pre-future cards and receive an upgraded card. Oh, so you have to buy the cards and then you get the rarity chances. That seems a little silly.
Hey, earn a free pack August 23rd. Free
There we
promo
go.
pack.
Oh, look.
This is also viral.
3,500
Keep scrolling.
times.
I'm ahead of you. I just scrolled down just to scan it.
That's fine. Oh, so if they sell out just the mega packs, it's $175,000. Cool. Which actually isn't that much. I thought it'd be more.
Well, it's 5,000 standard packs and 3,500 mega packs. So, yeah, you can do the math on that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just scrolled down and saw that.
They're all dead to me. Well, that's what Wax is doing right now, so I guess that makes sense that they would have everybody do it.
Yeah, it's about $250,000 for if they sell out all of it.
Yeah.
Plus secondary sales.
Who knows? Who knows if it will? I might buy one just because I actually do think the art's cool. All right, Jacob, any other final thoughts before we close out today?
So the only thing is that I did promise that whichever one that that I was going to do a giveaway. So for that, so I owe a giveaway for Zombie Coin. So I'm thinking, I'm not sure what I'm going to give away just yet. I mean, let's see how this role selector stuff goes. I'm not sure if I'm in the Zombie Coin Discord. They have a Discord, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you in the Discord?
I am, but I haven't read it in a little bit.
Okay, you'll have to send me an invite just so I can see if I'm in there or not. I'm in too many Discords. There's a few that I need to get invites into just so I know where they are. But yeah, so I'll try and keep a lookout for the role selector stuff, and I'll definitely. I mean, I follow them, so they do. I'll find out if they tweet about it, but also, I will tweet out. So if there are any of our followers that don't see it, but I'm thinking I can give away something like 5 chopping tickets, and keep them unopened. I've got a whole bunch that I haven't opened because I'm just like that. I open some, but a lot of times I just hold the unopened tickets. So I've got a whole bunch here, and I can continue to go back and buy some more, and we can give away some unopened tickets for next time. What do you think?
Yeah, that works for me. I like that. Awesome. Thank you all for hanging out. On behalf of Jacob, this is Dangy Wing. This was Wax World. See you next week.